I just want to be loved, listened, seen, and understood. If that's how you feel, then this video is for you. We all are here in this world to break, heal, and undo old negative patterns. This is called human evolution. It all sounds super easy in theory, but really in practice, in real life, for a lot of people, and actually I will say for most people in this world, it will be impossible to break and to get unstuck from repetitive negative patterns. The destination for every single person in this whole world is the absolute nothingness. We are all going to the exact same destination. So why don't enjoy life from now? Be grateful if you are going to live life. Be alive. Enjoy the journey and create your own purpose. That is the most important fact to be able to live a decent life. You need to rediscover yourself. You need to find, create, search for your purpose in life. Otherwise, you will be living a miserable existence. We all inherit negative patterns. Generation after generations, our ancestors have been passing through traumatic experiences, through very specific challenging scenarios that have marked them and have shaped them. And we are part of all the suffer and all the challenges that the people before us went through. We, in our body, in our mind, in our fears, in everything, represent us and represent our past. So if we have these negative habits that we do not like about ourselves, if we do not do anything to change those aspects, we are passing that to the next in line. We are giving the person who comes after us a gift that is not a really nice gift to pass. A very heavy box of very negative aspects that we do not feel proud of. Sometimes it's really hard to see that we have such a negative impact on people around us or people who come after us, because sometimes what people do, it's like they see us as a model. It doesn't matter if it's a good role model or a bad role model. And what they do is like they will be either be very similar to us because that's what they learn, that's what they see, or the person who comes after us will be absolutely the opposite that person has been, which is actually the same problem. But if you imagine you have a coin, when you have two different extremes, you have two different faces of a coin, and we are talking about the exact same problem, but when we flip it like this is what we see, and we flip it like this is what we see, but it's exactly the same problematic. Let me explain you this in a real life perspective. So for example, if you are a person who has eating disorders, in the way that like you try to avoid eating, and yes, you have that relationship with food towards the scarcity, then the person around you or the person after you might be exact the opposite, might be obese, might be someone who eats food compulsively. Then if you are, for example, a control freak, you love to organize everything and be part of everything, and the one who tells everybody what to do, the next in line will be weak and submissive, or it will be as much as a control freak as you are. If you are lazy, the next one might be lazy, or might be the opposite, a workaholic. If you are way too nice and people constantly take advantage of you, the next in line might be an absolute selfish human being, or it might be as submissive as you are. But again, different examples. We are talking about different polarities of the same exact problem. So think about this way. Think the way, like, because you may be, I cannot care less about what happens to the people like who come after me. I just don't care, whatever. I care about my problems, my life, whatever. So, but think this way. Just remember your parents, for example, or the people who were around you the most when you were a child, and see your personality, see those negative parts of you that you wish you could change. Do you see those negative patterns in the people who were around you, who basically raised you the first years of your life, who been like with you during your life the most? Do you see connections with what I'm saying? Do you see maybe very similar negative habits or negative patterns, or do you see very polarized, very opposite negative aspects? Do you see yourself reflected in the people who has been the most around you? Well, this is an absolute great exercise to start knowing yourself and to start understanding why you have the problematics that you have at the moment. Start researching, start thinking, start open your mind, open your eyes, start knowing yourself, but not just in the aspect of like, okay, I am like this and this is the way I am. No, open your eyes and understand why you are the way you are. Understand the history before you. Understand your parents. Have they been in the war? Has anyone in your family suffered from very traumatic experiences that you haven't suffered, but now maybe you are afraid of things because that comes from your ancestors? So start to try to find similarities, points where you can recognize, when you can acknowledge where is all this negativity coming from. And when you acknowledge, then that's a massive, huge step to help you saying, this doesn't belong to me. This is not who I want to be. This is not what I'm proud. This is part of my past, of the people that lived before me, of like my parents, of my uncles, of my anyone. This belongs to them. This doesn't belong to me. Today, I start working towards changing, towards evolution, because that old negative pattern does not belong to me anymore. I don't accept it anymore. I am different. I am going to differentiate myself, change, and I will go up in the ladder. I will enhance a change just so I, the person around me, and the person after me can benefit from my own evolution process. So it's a win-win for you, for anyone who surrounds you, for anyone who you will meet in the future, for anyone who will come after you. And that's the best thing. That's the most humble, beautiful thing you can do for yourself and for the others. And you may tell me, listen, I do not want to have kids. This horrendous life I have, these mental issues that I have, this depression, this unmotivation, this laziness, this confusion, all my problems to be organized, to live in a organized space, or my cluttering, or I am a hoarder, all of this finishes with me. All my problems finishes with me. I don't want to have kids. I don't want to bring anyone to this world to live in this shithole. If that's the way you think, I will tell you that you are absolutely wrong, because the next in line is not just your kid. I mean, of course, if you have a kid, that's where you will see it straight away, because kids are the most noticeable mirrors we can have in our lives. But you don't need to have kids to transport all your problems and all your difficulties in life to someone else. Next in line can be your partner. Next in line can be the daughter of your sister, if you spend a lot of time with the daughter of your sister. Next in line can be someone who works with you a lot. Next in line, it's anybody who is spending a lot of time with you. And why? Because we people have a massive influence to the people who are around us the most, and also the people who spend most of time with us influence us incredibly too. We are who we have around us. We become our environment, we become our surroundings. We are the people who is around us the most. And I will explain you again. Sometimes you think, no, it's impossible. I spend a lot of hours with my boss. Absolutely, I hate my boss. It's like a horrendous person. Is this and this and that. I'm not like that. And I will tell you, you are that. You just don't want to see it, but you are that. And maybe what you are seeing in your boss is not the exact same thing you are. As I say before, again, you are seeing the exact opposite polarity in your boss. But it's very important to open our eyes and to be humble and to accept that we are not victims and we are not always the losers. We are part of the problem. We are surrounded with the people we are surrounded because we are in a certain way. And if we choose to be in a different way, and if we choose to change our negative aspects, then if you do that successfully, I tell you for a fact, and I tell you 100% that, like I'm 100% sure of what I'm saying, life will move you somewhere else. Life will change you to live in another place or to work in another place, but like you will never be stuck with people who are very different from you. It doesn't happen. If you change, then your surroundings will be different. If you don't change, your surroundings will be the same. And you have to accept and be 100% honest, and this will save you years, hours, 1,000 hours from your life. If you understand that it's your responsibility and you are attracting the people you deserve and the people who are similar to you, when you accept it and you are honest and you really see it, the truth, and stop trying to avoid it, when you come in complete consciousness with this hard truth, very hard truth to see, when you accept it, it's the only way you will be able to start paying attention, see the patterns. You will see the situation from the outside. You will see yourself and you will be, it's right, I am the same they are. So do I want to be this person, or do I want to be somewhere else with some other people? What do I want for my life? It's very important to dedicate time to pay attention to your actions, to your environment, because that will give you so much information. All you need to know is in front of your eyes. It's hard to see, it's hard to accept, but the sooner you do it, the quicker you will evolve in life, if that's what you want. If you just don't care about growing and being better and making the world a better place for you to live, then if you don't want that, then well, yeah, you will get stuck forever in the same place. But if you want evolution, it's really all around you to find your answers and to find who you are. It's all around you. Problems will always exist. No matter how much you improve yourself, no matter how much you work towards evolution, problems will always be around. Complications will always be knocking on your door. Challenges will always be right around the corner. But I have seen this with my own eyes, and I'm sure you have this, and I'm sure you have seen this too. Some people's problems are the absolute dreams for others. So let me put a real life example so it's easier to understand. Let's talk about this person number one. This person, his biggest problem, his biggest challenge, his biggest worry right now in his life, it's to bring table to the food for his family, right? We have that person. And then we have person number two. His biggest problem today, his worry, his biggest upset as of today, as of right now, is that he cannot go on holidays to Hawaii because all of a sudden there has been a volcano eruption and all flights have been cancelled for the next 3 weeks. And yes, he cannot go on holidays and he's absolutely upset. But see these two different people with two different problems. Which problem would you like to have? The Hawaii problem or the problem of not knowing if you will feed your family today? That's what I'm saying. When you go through evolution, you will start having problems that other people will dream to have. Problems will always be there, but it will be a different quality of life, the one that you will live. This person that cannot feed his kids or might not be able to feed his kids today will not even in his wildest dreams think about going to Hawaii with his family. It's absolutely impossible. For that person is on surviving mode, whereas this person is the one going to Hawaii. It's living his life. So where do you want to be? Do you want to be surviving, or you want to be living, or you want to be living, feeding and nurturing your own purpose in life? Because that's the biggest difference, and that's the motivation for people to change old negative repetitive patterns. When we break through old patterns, we create an absolute new reality. We create an upgraded reality. We create a reality, the reality we choose to live. Stop living your life as if you are a sluggish snail, moving your body slowly with a lot of demotivation, with no purpose, from A to B, and from B to C, and from C to D. If that's the life you are living right now at this moment, I really encourage you to wake up, to stop living on autopilot mode, because life will go so slow and you will be so bored and depressed, and the people around you will be as bored, as depressed as you are. And living life like that, it's like an eternity of boredom. It's like if you tell me that's how I have to live my life for the rest of my life, I am like, oh God, no, please let me do something to change it and to make it at least more interesting so it doesn't go so slow and boring. Why breaking old habits is so difficult? Why, when you start changing things that you don't like about yourself, you get usually very easily an emotional withdrawal? Because if you have experienced a traumatic childhood, you feel in comfort in the absolute chaos. Why? Because that's where you have spent most of your hours. That's where you lived all your life, in the absolute mess. And that is your comfort zone. That is your safe zone. And as crazy as it sounds, having a horrendous life might be your safe zone. Our brains are lazy. They push us constantly to the safe comfort zone. Why? Because that's just the way human nature is. Usually, it's very common for people after traumatic childhoods to have self-destructive brains. We unconsciously or even consciously quite enjoy and prefer to loop continuously and continuously into the same problems. We like to get stuck with the same situations. It sounds absolutely crazy, but we find joy into sinking, into hitting the same stones on their way again and again and again. And I said it before already. Why? Because that's what we are used to. That's the way we live in our childhood. That's what happened for us so many times that that's the only thing we expect us to go through again and again and again. We don't even think there's a life where things could be different. We are like, oh yeah, this is life and that's what life is supposed to be, and it's normal, it's okay. It's normal to be in a toxic relationship. I actually love this guy. He, oh my god, he's a roller coaster of emotions, and he brings me up and he brings me down, and oh my god, he's so intense. And when we have, relations, it's amazing. And but then he doesn't talk me for 3 days, and I'm depressed. And then he gives me all these flowers and these chocolates, and it's all up and down. And oh my god, it's so intense. I'm so in love. That's as an absolute sort like toxic circle, and a lot of people enjoy that toxic circle. A lot of people love to loop and loop into all that endless craziness. It requires an active, lifelong, constant effort to get unstuck from a traumatic childhood. It's not like, okay, this year I go to therapy and I read all these books and I work on myself, and then I will skyrocket myself and I will never see a low again in my life. It will be nice to say yes, but no, it's not like that. It's a lifelong conscious effort, because your subconscious will take you back to the same problems as before. So this is lifelong, constant work. It never finishes. Because if you stop, you will see yourself going back to your old self. You will see yourself going back to your safe zone. Even if that safe zone is living in a very disorganized house, very dirty house, in a very disorganized life. Even if that safe zone is living a life where you feel like you're a loser, where you are lazy, where you are demotivated, and where you are depressed. Maybe that's your safe zone. Maybe that's where your brain wants to be, and your brain will constantly take you. Maybe your safe zone is being a people pleaser, a person who lives his life seeing how others come and take advantage of you, and come and take advantage of you, and that's your safe zone. So you will keep on doing it and keep on doing it and keep on doing it. But if that's your safe zone, we will need to work about it, because I absolutely refuse to believe that that's where you want to get stuck for the rest of your life. I refuse to believe you want to live such a gloomy life from now on. Imagine you're 30 years old now, and you never know when you're going to die, of course, but let's say you die at the age of 90. 60 whole years ahead you. Do you want to live them the way you're feeling today? Do you want to be like that for years and years and years and years? It's 60 whole years. Just think about it. It's just so much time to be just cruising on autopilot in a boring, unfulfilling life. It's not worth it. Your equation is wrong. Do your math, you want to get stuck in that awful reality. No, for anyone who is healthy, who has some common sense, the answer for that question should be absolutely no. I don't want to keep on living like this. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. And being at peace doesn't mean that everything is amazing and happy ever after. Being at peace means that you control your life. Your life doesn't control you. If you're still eager to watch more of this type of content, I have this other video here where I talk everything about detachment. Life is very sad and difficult when we attach to material things, people, false illusions, and memories. If you're interested in this topic, this video will not disappoint.